spiritual expressions of abundant thought, served with a side of humor. A vibrant, intangible playground for the expression of ideas, concepts, and thoughts, queries, energy, research about synchronicity. With guests, stories, experiences, imagery, magic, awareness, and you. Cool coincidence. Welcome to Cool Coincidence. Welcome to Cool Coincidence. I'm your host, Barbara Carnes, and I've got two topics for you this evening to present in about 16 minutes. They are Tesla and Nichols. You're in for a treat. Let's start with Tesla. I live on Long Island, New York, and there's a radio program called Awakening Code Radio that comes on at 3 a.m. my time, a little early, so I listened to the archived replay when I woke up in the morning. I decided to listen to the program while I trolled for social media content for a number of the sites that I manage. The host, a gentleman named Rankin, had barely begun his introduction for the topic, which was reawakening and the role frequency plays in our lives. When at about 1 minute and 55 seconds into the program, he says,
there is some other trigger hitting at a deeper level that it feels like not only are we awakening, but possibly reawakening to some great mystery of our purpose here on life, the nature of what life is, the mystery of where we've been and where we're going. And frequency seems to be sort of a key element. Nikola Tesla said, you want to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration.
So there I was, trolling for content on Facebook and looking at the exact same quote Rankin had just shared, typed below an image of Nikola Tesla. You see, one of my Facebook friends, Lisa SF from Australia, had been tagged in that image, so there it was, sitting in my news feed. And if that wasn't strange enough, the next thing that Rankin said was,
so we're going to talk a lot about that tonight, but also just the way it moves through our lives when we talk about frequency. What is it that we're talking about? We'll get a little bit technical at times, and then we'll swing back to just the way it manifests in our lives. A lot of people are sort of waking up to feeling synchronicity and coincidence at work in their lives and feeling guided by that.
Did you catch that one? Where he said people are sort of waking up to the feeling of synchronicity and coincidence at work in their lives and feeling guided by that? Well, I'm not sure he meant literally when he said it at 3 o'clock in the morning, but for me it was literal. I had just awakened, and there I was, faced with the coolest coincidence of the day. How about we season this up with even more fun? I realized later in the day that the image of Tesla that had been used above the caption that Lisa SF had been tagged in was the same image that I had used in an article that I had reposted on the 5D Media Network page about the top 10 Tesla inventions. It was a picture of Tesla when he's 36 years old, and links to that article and all the other references that you'll find in the show tonight are in the description section. So how cool is that? That episode of Awakening Code Radio, which was entitled, Can We Listen to Sacred Geometry?, was really quite fascinating and segues nicely into the second story. Rankin played several pieces of music that had frequency significance, one of which was a piece that actually runs an hour and 11 minutes long, of which he shared 10 minutes. That piece of music is called 2012 Ascension Harmonics by Jonathan Goldman. Now I'm going to play just 2 minutes of it here so that you can get an idea of what I'm talking about, and then I'll return and share the significance of it. Nice. Well, when I was listening to that, a little bit later in the day actually, I was laying down, started with my eyes closed, had 10 minutes of this. I started off allowing myself just to relax and do a meditative internal visualization, and then I decided to open my eyes. And when I did, I was looking at a sheer curtain against light coming in from a sunny day. And I allowed myself to look peripherally. In other words, I wasn't focusing on any particular spot. And in doing that, I saw through the sheer curtain in the window the energy bouncing in little, it would almost be as if you took a fish and saw it just darting here, darting there, or a firework where you see little pieces fly off here and there. They just fizzle and they disappear. But there were dozens and dozens of them. And I realized that that was energy, and that I was able to see it because of the light, because of the frequency that had brought me to a certain place in my meditation, and it was actually quite moving. You can find the link to Jonathan Goldman's 1 hour and 11-minute full version of 2012 Ascension Harmonies in the description section. Give it a try yourself, and then hit me up and let me know what your experience was like. You can post a comment at facebook.com/coolcoincidence, or you can send us an email at coolcoincidence@gmail.com. That brings me to Preston Nichols. Earlier this week, I listened to about an 8-minute video excerpt from the Awake and Aware panel discussion held, I think it was in April of 2013. Now, I just adore Preston, and have since I learned about the Montauk Project and his involvement. I also read a fantastic book that he wrote called The Music of Time. It would take me too long to explain it in detail, so I've left a link to where you can learn more and buy it if you're interested at Skybooks USA. Now, since the Montauk Project, Preston has been getting downloads, and he gets them cross-dimensionally and doesn't really talk much about them. So when he was explaining a bit about it in this video interview in the panel discussion, I was fascinated. Now, in the segment just before the audio excerpt I'm about to share, Preston is talking about his questioning of another panelist, Bashar. And apparently he was asking Bashar if he had heard of a function, as he's referring to it, called Tabor. And apparently Bashar had not heard of it. And apparently Tabor is the method that Preston has been getting his data, his downloads, for quite some time, until recently. He said he was told to listen to segments from 2 different pieces of music, as that really is how Preston relates to or interacts with other dimensions and information outside of this world. He gets it through vibrations, through sound. And the classical piece of music that he's referring to is by a composer, Bendrik Matana. Now, what you're about to hear is the significant portion of the Nichols interview. And as he references each of these 2 pieces of music, I cut away and let you listen a little bit. Here we go.
Because all I could find through this reality, through the operating system, was just fragments of this Tabor function. And I've been using this function for years for information that has always been correct. And this function has given me technical information that really hasn't been on the planet yet.
But how are you accessing this information?
Right.
You're using a computer? Because I think you don't use a computer.
No. I have a very specialized sound system at my place, which I will go into deeply tomorrow afternoon. And basically, there's a piece of music that's known as Mavlas, my fatherland, by the composer Bendrik Matana, which is a musical account of his beyond and back experience where he met this Tabor character, and this character told him to go back and write a piece of music. When I reached the section in my fatherland that's known as Tabor the Great, I always thought it was Tabor. That's when I encountered this extremely intelligent being. It started with me first through another recording, which is Justin Hayward's Broken Dreams, the one that has that odd droning noise at the end of it. And Preston of the Future told me to look in that droning noise, and that's when I saw the destruction of the planet. Almost like you get a nuclear blast when you're talking to somebody through a technical connection, you get this odd droning noise as the equipment's being destroyed. And that's what happened, and I checked into it. I went outside, and it was 2012. This was in 2006. Now, it's shifted ahead to 2023. That's what it looks like to me. Understand, I'm not making a prediction. You can't. Because this computer program is self-generating, which means every little nano bit that comes from everyone on this planet to the Earth, the Earth system, the Earth terminal, basically changes the program. Every nanosecond. This program is constantly changing. This is why first I saw 2012, and then it shifted to 2023. And to be honest with you, I'd like to get this function back. It's been very informative.
Needless to say, I was intrigued. So I pulled up that piece of classical music, popped in some earbuds, turned off all the lights, opened up the window in the second floor of my office, and looked out the window. And I kid you not, all of the lights from outside, the street lights, car lights driving by, house lights popping off and on, fireworks that were coming from nearby, airplanes that were flying around, were all amazingly coming on and off in time with this music. What a magical note to end on. This is Barbara Carnes, and you've been listening to Cool Coincidence. I'll see you next week.